Welcome to the San Luis Obispo International Film Festival. My name is Denise, and I'm here today with the filmmaker and some special guests from the film Full Picture. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Before we introduce you to everyone who's on the screen with me, I do want to thank our major sponsors this year for the festival: BHE Renewables, American General Media, and KSBY TV. And specifically for the film today, Full Picture, we want to thank our sponsors, Sharon and John Dobson. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We could never put on a film festival without the help of our sponsors. So now let's jump in and talk to everybody on our screen. I want to introduce, first of all, Jacob Reed, who is our director, filmmaker. Jacob, you want to wave? Yeah. And then you're going to recognize Santina Muha. She's our star and one of the producers. And then next we have Liz Richelt, and she's one of the producers. And the fourth person on the screen is Stephen Sanow. He's another producer. Welcome, everybody. What an important film you've made. What a moving film you've made. And I want to be quiet and just let you start talking, but I'm going to throw out one first question. Perhaps each one of you could tell me what meaningful lesson you might have learned from making this film. Please.
Sure. Well, I think for me personally, I learned that not everybody is judging me because I'm in a wheelchair, as I probably felt, before going into it, that everybody was, right, besides children. But also, yeah, some of them are.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So was it what you predicted then? Did it seem to be about what you would assume would have been true?
In many ways, yes, but I think I was a little bit surprised by the fact that some of the reactions were not as strong. Some reactions were stronger than I thought they would be, and some were not as strong as I thought they would be. So I think that it was eye-opening for me to find the middle ground there.
Sure. And I think it's interesting you said children, because one of my favorite things was when the young boy said, "Oh, think of all the storage space." Like he had this really positive, like, what a beautiful response to that. Like, she's got all the storage space. She'll be able to help people. I thought, wow, that's beautiful. So
I love that. Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts too. And he went on, by the way. He went on about what I could do with the storage space. I love that he thinks I carry.
You'd have a
cookbooks around.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cookbook. You hand it right to him. You say, "Here's a cookbook." Yeah.
Yeah, we had like 10 minutes.
Far off. He's not far off because I always have a hair tie on me. I put them around my breaks. I always have, and my friends know that if they need something, like, right, Liz, I know has been around me. Do you have any snacks? And I'm like, I do. And I pull a snack. Look.
Always.
There you go. See, you got a snack.
He's not wrong.
I wish this were live. We would be tearing open that bag of whatever you have for sure. So the rest of you, anybody else have a comment about a lesson you might have learned that you might not have expected?
I think that the big one for me was that in a certain extent, we're all in this together, in that every single one of us can be the perpetrator of bias and the victim of bias, and that it's really a lot more of a gray area than I think we tend to think of it.
Absolutely. And even another very meaningful moment was when Santina realizes that one of the people you were speaking to is also in a wheelchair. That's in it about 8 minutes into the film. And it does actually just shift it, doesn't it? We just all go, holy mackerel, wow.
Well, that's what we wanted. We wanted the audience to go on the same journey as our subjects. We wanted people watching to go, oh, I would not have that bias. And then to go, wait, that girl was oh, oops, I just did the thing. You know what I mean? That's what we wanted. So
absolutely. It's very effective. Very effective. Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts, Liz or Stephen?
I think for me, working on this project, I think a lesson that maybe we all already know, but it's just to listen and to be observant and to know, anything that, like, any biases that we might have, and to constantly be analyzing, because we don't know everything.
No, we don't. We don't.
Yeah. And I second what everyone has said, and this might not be such a momentous takeaway, but I did find that Santina was a very good conversationalist. She could keep up a conversation with anybody for for anything. Like, she should write a book on how to be a good conversationalist. That was one take I had.
That's beautiful. It's a
Mm.
great compliment to you, Santina. But also, I have to agree in that while I was watching the film, I've watched it several times, of course, in preparation to interview you all. And I was thinking, Santina, you really are. You're just so good with everybody. Everyone was laughing and talking, from small children to adults. Everyone seemed to really connect with you, which is a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you. I honestly think part of that is because I'm from New Jersey and I'm Sicilian, and it's just probably part of my DNA. But I also think it comes from the fact that I've been in a wheelchair since I was so little, and I have had to talk to strangers all my life because people just take it upon themselves to come up and start talking to me all the time. I mean, my friends here can all attest to that. They've seen it. And so I've sort of acquired this skill of entertaining strangers and making them feel comfortable with my situation. I've had to do it since I was 6 years old.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
imagine, even though it might seem like a burden sometimes, what an honor to be an ambassador in a way.
Well,
And
if I could get my talk show like Oprah, then then at least I could be making money or something from it. And, I would love for it to translate into something like that someday as I pursue my career,
Well,
and for right now, it's just a fun skill to have. But yes, someday I hope to have a talk show or do something with it,
yeah. Well, and you're all in Los Angeles, right? Are you down in LA, I believe?
Yeah.
So you're in the perfect place for that to happen. And so perhaps someone is watching this film right now, and perhaps they're saying, yeah, we want her to have her own talk show. I hope that happens.
That'd be great.
So, yeah. Well, we're at our 10-minute limit right now, but I want to say thank you again to all of you for making such an important film and for bringing it to our festival. And before we sign off, I want to thank our sponsors again, BHE Renewables, American General Media, KSBY TV, and Sharon and John Dobson. Thank you, everyone. And thank you especially to all of you for being with us today. Take good care, and we'll see you at another film festival. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.